hello beautiful, lovely to see you, and thank you for joining me once again today, where every day pretty much I come on and I like to share with you what I hope are wisdom-filled tips, processes, hacks to help you to truly step into a spiritual way of being, a way of being where you are fully and completely hooked into your non-physical aspects, those parts of you that create miracles, those parts of you that know who you are and where you're going and how to get there, those parts of you that can guide you through that. So thank you so much for joining me. Hi Maria, hello Rachel, Leanne, lovely to see you. Thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk to you about what you want. What do you want? What do you want? I'm Aleckson and I am Australia's leading channel. I am also the CEO of Mystery School for Women. Thank you so much for joining me today, as always. And we're going to talk about what you want today. And what I want, by the way, because I want to share with you a process I've been doing, or a little tool that I've been using to help me to... Levine, lovely to see you. Hi Rachel, good to see you too. A tool that I've been, or a thing that I've been doing that is really helping me to get crystal clear clarity on what it is that I want. Not in the long term, but rather on a day-by-day basis. So what I want to say to you today is that it's incredibly important as you embark on a journey, any journey, that you know where you want to go, that you know what you want along the way. And I don't mean a wishy-washy wanting, because yeah, we go through life and we see things and we think, oh, I wouldn't mind having that, I'd like to have that, I'd like to have a home of my own and these sorts of things. And then looking back on it, you kind of think, well, you know what? I actually don't want a home of my own. I don't want that responsibility. So this is about getting really crystal, I find it hard to say that this morning, crystal clear on what it is that you do want. So can you answer that question? What do you want? Do you know what you want? It's really super duper important that you know exactly what you want. What do you want? Do you have a list of the things that you want? Do you think about the things that you want? Hi Mariko, hello Lisa. Do you take time every day to look at the things that you want and think about how it will feel to have them, and allow yourself space and time to sit in the feeling of what you want? Levine, we will get to that a little further on. Levine's asking, how do you get it? Well, we will talk a little bit about that, but the very first step is that we are crystal clear about what we want. What do you want? Now, I want to share with you what I've been doing lately that's helped me to get crystal clear about this, because honestly, the other week I was thinking about how nice it would be to have my own home, and I'd like to have a home and a pool and blah, 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 all these beautiful things. But when I started asking myself every single day, what do I want? Well, it actually turns out that I don't want a home of my own. I don't want that responsibility. That's not part of my journey. I am someone who likes to move often and move into new places, rearrange furniture, all of these sorts of things. That's something that I enjoy doing. So having my own home and being in that home for a long period of time wouldn't suit me. And yet it was something that I thought I had on my want list. So I got really crystal clear about that, and I did that through every single day as I walk into my office, because this is where I spend most of my time. As I walk into my office, I see this note. It says, what do I want? And it reminds me in that moment to just stop and think, what do I want today? Some of the things that I often think about are how much income I'd like to be able to create today. So I think, okay, what do I want? Well, I want $2,000. And then I think, what else do I want? And I think, well, I'd like to have a lovely lunch meeting today. So then I think, okay, and what else do I want? Well, I want to go out for dinner tonight. So I think, okay, great. What else do I want? And I'm only focusing on today. You can certainly do this long term, but just for this process that we're talking about now, I only do it for today. Hello, Joe. Good morning to you as well. So I ask myself every single morning as I come into my office, hi, Anara, what do I want? In this moment, what do I want? And then the next thing that I do after I've thought about a few things that I want, sometimes it's only one thing that I want, sometimes it's more than one. And I then include all the long-term things that I want. So if I am thinking about the fact that I would like a new car, by the way, I want a new car. So I start thinking about the longer-term things, a new car, a holiday, these sorts of things. Enough money to pay for a child's university degree, these sorts of things, the longer-term things. So I add those in then, and then I sit quietly and I go into my creation and manifestation pod, which is part of the Mystery School teachings. I go into that space and I sit quietly and I allow myself to start feeling what life would be if I had those things that I want. So first of all, just for today, if I've asked for $2,000, I've come into my office, I've looked at my note that says, what do I want? And I immediately think, today I want $2,000. So then I go into my manifestation and creation pod and I get myself into the mind state that I go into. And then I immediately, and by the way, that's just a meditation space for those who don't yet have access to the Mystery School teachings. I go into that meditative state and I allow myself to start to think about the things that I want. So the $2,000, the car, the holiday, whatever it is. And then I start to think, who am I if I'm receiving those things? Who's the person that I have to be in order to have those things? And then I start thinking, what do I have to be feeling? What will I be feeling when I have these things? And I allow my whole being to be filled with the feeling of having those things that I want today and in the long term. And I sit in that for as long as I possibly can. I actually have a process whereby I count backwards from 100. And so that's almost 10 minutes. Yeah, almost 10 minutes. So I like to sit there for at least 10 minutes. You see, we all know, by the law of attraction, we all know that what you focus on with intent is what you will create, or what you constantly think about is what you will create. And yet we have a propensity to think, I'm just going to ask for it, and you sit for maybe 1 or 2 minutes or even seconds thinking about it, and then you go on about your life. But what I have found, and this may not work for everyone, but it certainly works for me, that so what works for me now is that if I spend more time just purely focused on that, bringing all of my heart coherence, my brain coherence, my spiritual connection, bring all those parts of myself into these 10 minutes and focus on what I want every single day, it actually allows me to more swiftly move into the person who will have those things. Releasing what's holding me back, receiving what I need in order to become that person, and really stepping into that energy. And, you know, if I had time, we're all time poor, aren't we? I would probably spend a couple of hours a day in that process, because even just with 10 minutes, it's expanded it so much that I can't even imagine what 2 hours would do. But if you have time, by all means, do it for 2 hours. Lavina, I'd like to address that, because you're saying that in life you've been brought up to believe that you can't always get what you want. That's so common. I mean, don't get me wrong, I also am from that mindset previously. So many of us were brought up to believe that you can't always get what you want. You know, you see it every single day in shopping centres, children saying, Mum, can I have that? And mum saying no, and then there's kids saying, why not? And their mum saying, because you can't always get what you want. We all, to some degree, have that belief within us. It's a societal belief. And so the job to do, Levine, and anyone else who's struggling with that, is to, first of all, look at that belief system. Is it serving you? Is it helping you to get where you want to go? And of course, I suspect the answer to that will be no, it's not helping me at all. So then you have to go, well, does everybody have this belief? And if they don't, and by the way, they don't, not everybody does, then you can say, well, it must be a choice. This belief must be a choice. And then you get to make a different choice. And, you know, there's all sorts of healing modalities that you can do around all of these sorts of things. So go and change that belief in whatever way you need to. Sometimes just being around people who don't have that belief allows you to step into a different belief. And other times you need to do deeper work, going into your subconscious mind and removing that belief. So do whatever you need to get over that belief that you can't always have what you want. And then start asking yourself every single day, what do I want? So that you can get really crystal clear around it. Because what I think I want to say is that for so many people, I see them asking for things over and over again, but different things all the time, rather than putting their focus into one thing that they want or a very clear bunch of things that they want. It's constantly changing. So that's why it's so important that you do crystal clear. Know very, very clearly what you really want. And then spend that time with it. Give it some time. Give it some of your energy. Allow yourself to receive some of its energy. And in this way, you will start to become a magnet to it. Bring that feeling into you. Expand that feeling. Become that feeling. And that feeling will attract to it everything that matches it. The law of attraction says so, does it not? And I am a knower that the law of attraction is indeed a very real thing. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, about getting very crystal clear about what do I want, asking yourself all over every day. I ask myself whenever I see this note, and since it's in my office, I see it quite often. I see it and I think, what do I want? And then I remind myself, yeah, that's what I want. And then I go on do something else, and then I see it again and I think, what do I want? I even sometimes say it out loud to myself, what do I want? And then I answer that. It keeps the energy of it fresh within me. It keeps me continuing to become a magnet to it, and it brings things to me that I desire, that I want. Now, of course, over and beyond that, there are things that there's things like divine timing, and there's things like in your best spiritual good or in your highest interest, and all of those sorts of things. But for the moment, let's just focus on this very first level, which is to get very crystal clear on what you want. Ask yourself every day, what do I want? Start the day by going into a meditative state or a quiet state. You don't have to meditate, just sit quietly and ask yourself, what do I want? And answer that question. Answer it consistently so it's not wishy-washy and it's not changing every day. And then become a magnet to it. As I said, I spend 10 minutes at least in this process every morning, just around what I want to achieve today, what I want to receive today, what I want to have happen today. So take some time to do it. You're worth it, by the way. And I mean that in the way of the 10 minutes that it takes, it's absolutely worth you taking that time to give that gift to yourself. So please do so. So start asking, what do I want? As soon as we get off here today, sit down and say, what do I want? And then write a little list of it and put it somewhere so that you keep your focus on it. Okay? Joe, of course, yeah, again, Joe's just saying, I let fear in. And that's natural. It's totally and absolutely natural that we feel fear when we ask for something that we want. But then behind the fear is a sense of, Joe, I suspect for you and for many people it will be, but do I deserve it? But do I have the money for it? But do I have the time for it? all of these sorts of things. So just dig in, find out what that thing is and deal with it. And again, just look at the belief around it and make a decision. Do I want to keep believing this, or do I want to choose a different belief, one that will empower me? Always choose the belief that will empower you. And if you're not sure whether a belief is serving you or not, just simply say, does this belief empower me? If the answer's no, then find a belief that empowers you and make a decision to change it. There's all sorts of tools and processes, brain retraining, energy healing, all of these sorts of things. So find something that works for you. Thank you for joining me today for my little chat with you about being very clear about what you want and asking for it every day. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again another time. Thank you.